Hi and welcome to our video series in which we are looking at the new features of Grasshopper within the new and shipping version of Rhino 6. You will see a list of the features we are going to explore here. And in this short video, we are going to look at Make 2D. We can get that component either by double click and writing Make 2D or by going to Display, Dimensions and Make 2D. The component does a very similar job to the command inside Rhino Make 2D. It's got a few inputs and outputs. In this video, I will have a geometry straight from Rhino basic object shape, and I will input it inside geometry. You can of course have your geometry that is created inside Grasshopper straight away to have the same result. So I'll create a geometry component and I will set one geometry, which is the object that I have inside Rhino. I will hide the object after that. Connect it to geometry. Although the compute button, so basically the component has got a button called compute, which allows you to compute the viewing that you have at that time and make 2D lines from it. And now, although the component lights in pink after I connected the geometry to it, it still cannot basically make the lines that I want, 2D lines, because it's still asking me to create, to connect a viewing input here. And to do that, we need to decide which view we want to make 2D from, and then let's say if I want to do that in perspective, I have to write it inside a panel. Perspective, and then connect it to the view. It's not actually accepting the writing because it still cannot translate the data conversion from text to projection. So inside display dimension, there is another component called Make 2D Rhino View that I can use to translate this information from a text into a projection that I can then connect to view. Now we can see that there is no error message anymore, and by clicking compute we should have a 2D view, 2D curves showing the view that we were looking at. So if I go to perspective and then to top, this is the same view. One thing you will notice here that we are having, we had by computing that view, we had like both visible curves and hidden curves. You might need both, you might need only one. So in the output gives you the option to bake what you need in this case. So if I am to create a curve component to have the output from here, I'll just connect it to visible curve and to hidden curves. In this case, I can hide this one and bake just the visible curves like that. There's one missing here. Can just move it, missed it. And then I can have all the visible curves baked here. If I needed the hidden curves as well, I can just bake them and have them whether in different layer or different color or the same one, depending on what I need. It can be dashed, etc. Other few things that this component offer is a clipping plane. So if I had like let's say a building or any design that I wanted to create a clipping plane or section in a view, that's also possible just by creating a clipping plane here that goes through my geometry. So I will be creating a plane, and then just to have an XY plane clipping through my geometry, I will just move it up a little bit across my geometry like that. I want to have that cross section. So what I will do inside Grasshopper, I'll just create a basic surface and then take the area, because I want to take a point, and then from that point I have to set here surface, and from that point, centroid, I'll take an XY plane. So I'll do that. We can see that the compute has flashed again. I have to check where I am at the moment. Where am I looking? And to compute it. So I want to hide my clipping plane because I want my geometry. And then after I pressed on it, I go to the top view. Then I can see now I'm getting, if we are to bake the outer line again like last time, we will be getting a clipped view from the previous view showing what we can see. This is another input that we can make use of. We have here a toggle that we can use to show the tangent edges if we wanted to. So if I am to go back here and I am to press true, compute, and then go to the top view, I can see here that I can actually see the tangent edges that I had on my geometry if that was necessary. More information from the outputs here. The visible index, visible type, I can see more information about each edge that I have made 2D. So if I am to create a panel and see what sort of information comes out from here, so the visible index and the visible type, same goes also for the hidden index and the hidden type. For the hidden type, I can see that it's showing information about each curve if it was necessary for me to know what is that. So if I am to read this, I can see that there is numbers, the number of a sequence of curves with information associated to it. If I wanted to know which curve is which number, all I have to do is just to select, let's say, those curves, and then create a point on curve component. Then all I have to do is create a point list for me to be able to see the points, and then I'll just give it size. Now I can see which curve is which, and hence I can see, for example, here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can know that 0 is crease, 4 is a tangent, etc. So it shows me information about each curve. Same, of course, for the visible curves as well. So I can see the numbers of the visible curves, and I can associate it with the information, with the outcome. I hope that this was helpful, and thank you for watching.